games are a worldwide phenomenon. Let's just be clear about this. It's not just something that just little kids do in one little area by themselves or anything like that. It's something that everybody does worldwide. And because of that, we got to pay attention to sort of regulations that hit gaming companies, especially ones that may even hit countries outside of our own. Case in point, the first earlier this week, China went ahead and they released out that they were going to make it a law that if there are loot boxes being dropped in like MMOs or any such games where you have an online persistence and there's some sort of reward for playing, like whether it be gear or a custom skin or a drop or anything like that, that game makers have to now disclose the drop rates and the percentage chance that somebody is going to have that they're going to get anything that's worthwhile, much less anything that might be worthwhile for the character or the game that they're playing. This particular law was actually, people started talking about this particular law on the 8th. And basically, the relevant bits of the law, in their particular parts that was transported by a poster on NeoGAF, was the first bit was online game publishers shall promptly publicly announce information about the name, property, content, quantity, and draw forged probability of all virtual items and services that can be drawn or forged on the official website or a dedicated draw probability webpage of the game. Sorry. The information on draw probability will be true and effective. And the next clause in that particular law, online game publishers shall publicly announce the random draw results by customers on notable places of the official website or in the game to keep record for the government inquiry. The record must be kept for more than 90 days. When publishing the random draw results, some measures should be taken place to protect user privacy. All right. Now, you're thinking to yourself, okay, this is China. How the hell does this affect somebody here in the States? Well, China has a population of over 1.2, I think 1.4 billion people. They're over a fourth, I think right now, a fourth of the world's population. And because of that, if you equate that to the number of users that they have online, like many of the MMOs that persist out there, WoW, amongst other things, I mean, shit, the only reason why they even made the WoW movie and made any sort of money was because it had that many Chinese users. Okay? So basically what you have to consider right now is that how is this going to affect people here stateside when this starts going into effect? Because the thing with these particular regulations is that if a game company goes out of their way and they say, all right, we have to go ahead and conform to this to accommodate this huge set of users, it's going to trickle down and it's going to affect everybody else outside the area, which is one of the things that I kind of worry about. On that topic, what are your thoughts, gentlemen? The floor is open.
For me, okay, I could speak through experience. I'm probably, I don't know about the Reverend, but I'm probably the only one here that plays MMOs. I play Guild Wars 2. Now, here recently, Guild Wars 2 has modified it's called Black Lion chests. And what you do is you buy them with real world money. You buy the keys to open up these chests that have exclusive skins and various other items in there that you have to actually use real world money to get. But it's mostly cosmetic. I just want to point that out, that it's not game, breaking type of things that you get out of these chests. But you do pay real world money for them. Now, there's other ways to get that as well, through gold and it's called like diamonds, right? What they do is anyway, but I'm 100% for this. This is great because if you're spending your hard-earned cash on something, you should at least know the odds of you getting that particular skin or that particular whatever, I'm really for that because, if you're spending all this money on these grab bags with, 0.0000000000 1% chance to get this amazing skin, but it doesn't change the gameplay, but it does make you unique. And that goes with, with Guild Wars 2, WoW, and other MMOs, popular MMOs, where you want to be as unique as possible. So I'm glad that this law is being passed, that I can't think of the guys, Wizards of the Coast, I'm sorry, I just blew a blank, that they have to at least, legally tell you what are your odds of getting such item. And, because I fell victim of that as well. I bought these 10 keys for these chests, and I ended up with crap. I did get something for that, but I didn't, and there's no way to know the knowledge, or no way to know what was inside these chests. Now, Guild Wars here recently did an update, or Guild Wars 2 rather, did an update to where you could actually click onto the chest and see what the chest actually consists of. The items that's possible, and it actually tells you the rarity of those items. But it doesn't really necessarily give you the percentage of a chance that you get. But we've read several stories in that these people are spending upwards to $5,000 to $10,000 on these grab bag chests, just trying to get that an exclusive skin. And it's really, it's their fault for spending that much money on it. But also, you got to, I think the company should share some responsibility in that, saying that, okay, you have, that they should at least tell you the odds that you have of grabbing that particular skin. So for me, I'm really glad that this is happening, because that way, you do got the gullible players, man, that just do this, that want to be unique, that, they're in an elite class by having that particular armor, that particular weapon, or that particular whatever. And, I'm glad that this is being enacted to where at least that what your odds are, 1 in a million chance or whatever to get this particular item. Because there's no, through experience, of opening up 10 chests or 20 chests or 100 chests, expecting to get a rare skin and not getting it, but all you got was crap, stuff that's not even useful, that you can't even sell it within the in-game economy. That sucks. It really does. So I guess it's a way that, that the companies are held accountable. But again, it's that particular player's fault for spending all that money. So it's kind of a two-way coin. What do you guys think about that? Is it the game's fault that they have a skin that's rare, and you have to spend money, real life money, hard-earned money to get that skin? Is it fair for that company to not tell the odds of what your odds of opening up these chests or these containers? What do you guys think about that?
Well, generally speaking, all right, if you do a Google search of being able to hit like double zeros on a roulette table, all right, it'll sit there and it'll give you the odds and everything. It'll spit out the mathematical odds for you. Now, there isn't very many mathematical odds for these particular items, but they are incentivized and they are monetized like casino machines, if you think about it.
Absolutely,
Okay?
You're right.
If you think about it, there's going to be something there that's going to sit there and say you have a chance of winning something, but if you're just doing the rough math, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose to the house, and that's just how that is. All right.
You think that's right, though, Reverend, that the company doesn't disclose the odds?
The thing is that with that, when it goes with that, they can go out of their way and they can disclose like drop rates and percentages and stuff like that. But my big concern with this is twofold. All right, as a developer, the second point that they went ahead and they pointed out that you have to sit there and say that you have to go ahead and keep records of who wins what and who actually gets what drop for 90 fucking days for government fucking review. You're telling me that you're going to go ahead and force me to do that for 23 fucking million players for
Yeah.
every fucking item that's won in the fucking raid? Are you fucking kidding me?
I agree, Reverend. That is ridiculous.
That is straight bullshit.
Absolutely.
I mean, and the thing is that I'm not even on the fucking developer's side here because MMOs, I think they're a fucking vortex of life and time.
They are.
That particular shit right there, I think is bullshit. Okay. And that's.
But, I mean, I think that's the most ridiculous thing about the clause is that they have to keep on who won what and how they won it for 30 days. That's the most important.
30 days. It says for 90 days and even longer for government fucking review.
That's ridiculous.
Look, okay, you guys basically hit the nail on both heads here. And that's what's so funny about it. It's a double-edged sword. Yes, you would like them to have the stats up. Yes, you would like that. But at the same time, it's like, wait a second. For each and every player that plays this game, you're going to have to display all of that. Look, no.
It's Blizzard, not the IR fucking S, okay? That's all I'm saying. Okay.
For example, the Wizard of the Coast, WoW, has at least 10 million active users.
No.
And that's a lot of data.
I'm not even one of them, but no.
That's a lot of data that you're requiring Wizard of the Coast, or Wizard for that matter, to stay on board for 90 days.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes to a point to where you have to be an adult here, whether or not you spend that real life, we call it real life currency, for an in-game digital content.
Hey,
I mean,
if you're willing to
I understand. Well,
if you're willing to spend the time and the currency.
No. Well, see, the thing is, though, is that I understand that the guys are trying to protect the people that are spending all this money.
What?
To a point to where
They're spending money on their own.
Exactly. It's not the developer's fault that these people are spending tens of thousands of dollars for this particular skin. It's that individual. That individual it falls on that individual. I mean, it comes to a point to where it's like, fuck this. I'm not spending my hard-earned money on this particular item just so I can be different than everybody else.
They don't even know, and they're taking chances to get particular items.
But see, what I do agree with is this. I agree that the company should throw out the odds. That way, at least, like in the lottery, you have 1 in 680 million chance of winning the lottery. At least they're telling you. You know what I mean? But some of these games are not even telling you. They're saying.
But what about it just being a random thing? I mean.
Well, it is. It's RGN, random generated numbers.
Well, to be completely honest, all right, when it comes to these particular laws, is that generally speaking, for this particular one, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not on the developer's side, but some of the parts of this fucking law is just fucking ridiculous. Like I said, you're gonna sit there, you're gonna ask somebody to go ahead and build a bureaucracy where it's like they're keeping track of shit like they're on a state or federal fucking level. No, it's not gonna happen. And here's the stupid thing about it is that some developers are not gonna be. They're not going to be accountable for that. They're not going to be held to the same fucking standard.
They should not be.
So, and the thing about it is that, like you said, there's also a level of personal responsibility here. It's like putting up the calorie count on the supersized fucking meals at McDonald's.
Yeah.
But if you still go there and that's all you eat and you get fat, you
can't blame McDonald's.
Or you end up with high fucking blood pressure or bad cholesterol levels. That's kind of on you. All right.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that I think look, as far as players goes and everything else within the realm of the game industry and the way that the games are put out there, guess what? These games are put out there to make money off the players. It's no fucking secret. It's never been a fucking secret.
Well,
Right?
for example, is like some of the raids in WoW. I mean, you have like a 0.01% to get a particular. So you got 5 people going into a raid to beat this boss. At the end of the boss may not even drop it. And if it does drop, you got 5 people you got to quote unquote roll against each other to see who gets it. You know, and
What? So it's just like in Double Dragon where brother versus brother to get the girl at the end.
pretty much exactly what it is. And so with Guild Wars 2, it's a little bit different. I mean, I know people that spent hundreds of dollars on these chests to get this unique skin. And I mean, yeah, it's good for the developer, but it comes to a point to where the player has a responsibility to stop. They've got to know when enough is enough. I mean, you can't blame because that's what it was built on. It was aimed at people like that to get money. That's how they get money.
Well, that's like in a mobile game or like either like mobile puzzle game. You run out of lives and it tells you can spend money in order to get extra lives, or you can wait.
Or you can wait a day or 2 days.
Right. So if you keep
with the MMOs, no, it's not
if
like
you keep spending money, that's okay. Wait, you weren't patient. You had a choice here. So again, what Gray Mouse is saying, there's a level of personal responsibility that has to be held. People need to be held accountable here for all purchases. But in the opposite side, yeah, I can kind of see.
I mean, the government to want. Now, wait. Let me ask you a question, Reverend. Is this a mandated government law?
Yeah, it's a Chinese
in China.
in China.
See,
Yeah, so it's basically saying that if you're going to go out of your way and you're gonna publish a game that's available to play in China, and that there are loot crates or loot boxes or drops or other things that you have to sit there and play against with odds to go ahead and win, that you have to go ahead and provide the odds that you're going to go ahead and do that. That particular part, completely reasonable. In fact, that's something that they already have figured out as part of the mathematical algorithm that's going to figure out the drop rate, right? The second part, though, that as far as those sticking points about having to fucking keep records about who wins,
that's BS
for like 90 days bullshit. Or more. Yeah, that's just stupid. All right.
Well,
yeah.
See, the thing is too is that I just hope it doesn't open up a can of worms, because like I said, in certain MMOs, certain bosses drop certain items. Only you can. This armor set or weapon is exclusive to this boss, and according to that law, you have to dictate or you have to annotate what is your possibility of getting this law. I think the law should only apply to where you have to spend your hard-earned money, real money, onto a loot crate or a loot box. Now, for the enemies and stuff that the bosses and stuff that drop certain items or certain weapons or whatever, I don't think they should have to disclose that, because it's free. You just go and raid that boss until it drops.
Well,
so is it exclusive to just loot crate drops, or is it exclusive?
Here's the thing about it, though. This is where it kind of becomes critical for China, is that there is a large online economy where you have Chinese farmers, folks who just farm items.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
And gold and
that's
and
all
other
they do
things for for crafting and things like that, so that they can go ahead and go into the actual game community and the trading system, and then go ahead and trade those particular items for real cash. Okay. It's not unusual to sit there and say, oh yeah, well, I paid $10 for 100 gold in World of Warcraft. I've seen people do that.
Yep.
Okay.
That's not uncommon at all.
And they do the same thing for any sort of trade items or any sort of quote unquote rare items or epic drops or shit like that. And well, most of the time, if anybody gets an epic, they're just keeping that for their own.
Well, yeah, because
all right.
most of the time the developers always put that as a sole or an account base where they can't sell that for that particular reason. But yeah, I mean, just like you said just a moment ago, gold sellers, no matter what MMO you play, you always have people. That's all they do is they create bots, or that's all they do online is farm stuff, whether it's wood or herbs or whatever that currency is, and they sell it back to the community with real life money. And that's a major problem. I understand that.
Yeah. You know, and in which case, if it's something that they can go ahead and they can help keep track of or something like that. The way that I see this is just like this fucking calorie counts next to your number 2 at fucking McDonald's. All right, I understand. You're telling me, hey, look, this right here is already going to give me my recommended daily allowance of fucking calories. All right, but guess what? If I only got 20 minutes left on my fucking lunch break because it took me 10 minutes to go ahead and get there anyways, right? And I've only got like $5.70 in my fucking pocket. I don't think I'm gonna mull over that for too long and actually consider that in the long fucking run.
I just thought of something real quick though, Reverend. What happens to the people that want to do that actually go out of their way and buy stuff from gold sellers, or in this case particular law with the Chinese law, that actually don't mind spending their hard-earned cash on these grab bag boxes?
They're not affected by it. Because the thing is that unfortunately this is one of the reasons why I'm, like I said, I'm not on the developer's side here. But this law is really, really fucked up, because the thing is that it addresses in no way at all players.
But it's not the developers.
It gives fuck all about players. All the responsibility about what they're requiring for any particular game is from the developers and publishers directly. All right,
So,
they require no responsibility from players at all.
So wait, I got a question. This law is coming. The developers are not creating this law, right? It's the government.
It's Chinese government.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So the developers have no say in this anyway.
Nope. I mean, their only say is, hey, look, we can't do this, or thank you very much, we're no longer going to distribute in your country.
But you're saying that you're not on the developer side on the aspect of keeping records for 30 days, right?
No, I'm not on the developer side as far as trying to go ahead and surely to white knight for them. Okay, I'm just saying that there are aspects of whatever this particular regulation that they're trying to put together that just on the surface, just reading the fucking lines that are there, the only thing that I can think of is that, my God, this is a fucking shit show. What the fuck are they expecting? Look, imagine this. Imagine if it wasn't Blizzard and that it was some sort of indie developer that went ahead and did something that was close to that and had maybe something like 2 or 3 million fucking players. All right. Now they've got to go ahead and keep track of records of all the drops for all of those fucking 2 or 3 million players. They, like I said, you have individual developers. They are not the fucking IRS. Okay. Yeah. They are not assigning people social security numbers and attaching wages to it and fucking taxes.
I agree.
Okay.
And, it's not even practical to have that much information on hand to begin with. You talk about, like, if you have WoW, you have like 30 million players. I'm just saying. So you expect to keep 90 days of information on your servers?
Or longer.
Huge amount of data.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah. Not saying that they don't already log this bullshit, but again, it's just, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
I don't see. Here's the reason why. The only reason why you would sit there and ask them to keep records for X amount of days is so that you could check. If it's 90 days, you could check back 91 days later and see whether or not they've lapsed on it, so you'll find the fuck out of it. And what's the fucking point in that?
But see, the way they see it as a financial transaction. So like I said, I'm in supply in my job, and we have to keep things on file for a certain amount of time, 3 years to be exact, because there's never, you never know when you have to look back on, okay, such and such bought this particular item for this amount. So I can kind of understand where they're coming from as a supply standpoint, but for digital content, I think that's just the wrong way to go, man.
Yeah, there's no real goods being traded here, and it does not make any fucking sense.
No, it doesn't.
All right, yeah, especially even if there's no virtual currency involved. Okay,
Yep.
this is just drop rates.
Yep.
Okay.